Okay, so to finish talking about vehicles, we're going to go over the ATV a little bit more as well because it's got some more special rules associated with it. Now, there are some missions that will assign you the ATV, so you'll just automatically bring it along on the missions. And as you can see, it doesn't have any associated squad cost, so it's not going to cost you extra points to bring the ATV on the missions it's assigned. And there are some rules that will allow you to bring it when you're playing a campaign, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. Now, the big thing with an ATV is it has the ability to embark or disembark. Basically, it can carry your squad as you're moving through, but again, it can only do so on outside nodes. So for the purposes of this video, let's pretend that our example mission here, all these indoor nodes are actually outdoor nodes, okay? So while you're on an outdoor node, you may choose to embark your squad into the ATV, but while they are embarked on the ATV, they can only make command and communication skill checks. So our squads down here that have advanced or the specialist skills, none of those could be used while they're riding in the ATV. Also, if you are engaged in combat while you're embarked in the ATV, then only the ATV is going to be able to participate in that combat and receive the wounds associated when you generate wounds for the enemy. So let's say our squad's here on this outdoor node and they encounter a couple of enemy forces while they're embarked on the ATV. They would generate wounds like normal, and the ATV could use its skills to generate wounds against the enemy forces. Let's say, however, that the ATV is destroyed while the units are embarked in it due to combat. In that case, everyone is automatically going to be disembarked from the ATV, and you would do a random number generation for each unit in your squad, and on a 5 or higher, that unit would take a wound due to the ATV being destroyed. Also, again, pretending that these are outdoor nodes instead of indoor nodes, if your squad moves from an outdoor node to an indoor node, they are automatically going to be disembarked from the ATV. While on an outdoor node, though, if you're engaged in combat and you are disembarked from the ATV, you do get to treat the ATV just like an extra unit in combat, so it could be assigned wounds and generate wounds while all your combat units are doing the same. However, when it comes to taking the wounds from the enemy, it could only receive half the amount of wounds generated, rounded down, assigned to the ATV. Also, you do have the ability to do what's called a combat embark or disembark, and the way this would work is when you engage in combat, after determining the range, but before generating the wounds for each side, you could choose to embark or disembark your units from the ATV. So let's say our squad here had engaged in combat against a couple of enemy forces, and the range had been determined to be melee. They could choose to embark or disembark, again relative to location, at that time before wounds were generated.